sit-ups, push-ups every day and rep God. Need to not be informed is so odd. Steady, get my work in, do my job. Stay fresh mentally and physically, no swab. Got the swag to make your head bob. I'm Matthew, do what I have to. Young, informed, standing tall, like statue against chalice or a mob. We go hard every day before we play. Focus, confidence, move forward, no matter consequence. We'll never seen kids like this. Spread positivity, any negative attempts we ignore. Don't get this, too intelligent to be dismissed. Never heard nothing like this. Passing the hip hop back and forth with no miss. Three haters into the abyss.
See little man right here. Yeah. Little man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Noah and Matthew podcast, featuring Chauncey, Julius, and the power of fathers and the mission to eradicate fatherlessness. So, good morning, Mr. Julius. How are you today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited to be here, and this is awesome. Thanks for having me, Noah and Matthew, man. Y'all are doing some amazing things in the world of music and just in the world of broadcasting and getting powerful messages out there. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To start off, tell us about Chauncey Julius the man. What is important to him?
Wow, that's a great question. Man, thank you for asking. Man, who is Chauncey Julius and what's important to me? And so first off, I'm a Christ follower, right? And so I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. In a day and age where Christianity may not be all that popular, but that's who I am. So first off, I'm a faith-filled man. I'm a spirit-led man, not perfect, but forgiven. Second, I'm a husband. You know, I've been married for 72 awesome years to my wife, Carrie. And so we are courageously raising two kiddos of our own here in the Richmond, Virginia area. And so my oldest is my daughter, Kennedy. And so she just started school this week. And my youngest, 7, his name is Gibson, my son. He starts school here after Labor Day. And so, man, that's what we're doing, man. We're raising kids, man. We're working. We're trying to figure this thing out. And then we're also pursuing our passions and our purposes as well. And so me, who I am, I'm a combat vet as well. I did nearly 15 years in the U.S. Army. I served 3 combat tours in Iraq. And so, man, I'm a patriot. I like to think of myself. I'm not only a veteran, but I'm a patriot. I'm one of those. I just love my country, the good, bad, and the ugly. Right? There's no perfect country, but I love my country. I love serving my country. I love the service that I put in for my country. But I also love serving my community as well. And so I work with my church a lot. I just love people. I love serving people. I'm a big fan of the Martin Luther King quote where he says that the measure of a man is summed up in his ability to serve others, right? And so that's who I am in a nutshell, man. I'm fun. I'm an extreme extrovert. I love people. And so I love interacting with people. And so when COVID came, man, that shut everything down, man. That hurt me bad, you know? And so people will call me lighthearted. I'm easygoing. And I'm just energetic, man. Anywhere I go, I may not be the smartest person in the room, but man, when it comes to passion, man, I got a full tank. And so that's pretty much who I am in a nutshell, man. I'm fun. I love music. I love youth. I used to work for a Boys and Girls Club. I ran a teen center back in Tennessee. And I just really had a fun time helping youth reach their full potential. And so that's a little bit of what I do. I currently work at a juvenile detention center. And so I'm trying to help those youth who've been caught up in the justice system and you know, for making some bad decisions, help them get on the right track. And so that's what I'm currently doing right now, is just helping youth reach their full potential. Yeah.
Your passion for family shines bright. What experiences in life led you to become a great family man?
Man, well, thank you for that. I'm always trying to be a better dad, and be the dad that I always wanted. And, growing up, my dad was Superman. He was Superman to me. I remember playing, I grew up as a young, and when I was you guys' age, I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the hood, right? And so, and I had my dad, my parents were together, they were married, and man, I remember having snowball fights with him and playing Batman and Robin with my older brother, with my father, and just that interaction, my family experiences, going to family reunions, going to weddings, going to funerals, and being around family. I don't know. I responded to that energy, and I always wanted to be a good father. One day I always aspired to be a good father. When I was a child, I could remember having those visions and those memories and those dreams, right? And then, when I became a teenager, and my family suffered from substance abuse, right? My father, he had an addiction, and it really took a major toll on my family. And so I went a period where I felt like I was fatherless. I felt like I didn't have a father because, drugs had his attention, but he eventually sobered, and we have an awesome relationship today. However, during that time, it just really cultivated this passion within me to step up for those who are fatherless, right? And to help those who are fatherless and or who are experiencing father wounds to step up and be a surrogate dad and help them navigate through those hard periods in their lives. And so that's why I like working with youth. That's where my passion and my fire is fueled from and is generated from, to work with youth, man. I just have a passion for teenage boys and helping them reach their full potential and see their worth, to see their value, right? And to help them do amazing things like you guys are doing in the world. And so, man, it's just how I'm hardwired. I feel like that's my God-given gift and my God-given passion. I tell people all the time, my greatest gift and my greatest passion, it intersects when I'm dealing with teenagers. And so it starts first at home, right? I can't be out there in the community doing great things and helping the lives of young people and not doing it at home. And so home is the training ground for me.
You're definitely fulfilling your purpose.
Wow, man. I appreciate that, man. Look like you guys are too, man. You guys look like you love what you're doing. You got your branding, you're responding to your dad, man. Man, I'm gonna be watching y'all on TV one day, man. I'm gonna be reading y'all books one day, man, for real. And not one day in the distant future. It's in the near future, for real, man. You guys are doing some amazing things.
Thank you. We see you have a passion for fitness and wellness. Tell us how that is important to you, mission and purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, man, living healthy, right? Living healthy and just being a good steward of my temple, right? Being a good steward of the body that God gave me, right? I don't want to be a poor steward. It's just like if you borrowed a PlayStation game from one of your friends, right? And you just treat it all kind of way. You're drinking, you dripping soda all over. You got potato chip crumbs all over. You know what I'm saying? You wake up and you playing frisbee with the PlayStation game with your dog, and it's just you're not treating it right. I feel that I don't want to be that way with our body. I don't want to treat my body wrong because it was given to me and by God, right? And so I just want to be a good steward. And I definitely don't want to come off like I've arrived in this area. I got a long way to go, but I just believe that if I show up, I'm looking out my man cave window right now. If I show up at the end of my driveway, I won, right? And so show up how? Show up and do some type of exercise. If I show up and go run, right? If I show up and just walk, right? I may not feel like running that day. I may just go and walk, but I have to do some type of exercise to invest in myself. I call it gifting myself some exercise, right? I'm gifting myself when I do that. And the motivation behind it, the vision is I want to play toss with my grandchildren, right? I want to, and I don't have any right now, but when my kids grow up and get older, graduate and have a family of their own, I want to be around and I want to be healthy, right? I don't want to be you know, a person that is, you know, confined to some health support, right? Whether it's a crutch, whether it's, you know, wheelchair or oxygen tank. I don't want that to be me. And so, you know, I'm starting now to create the future that I want to have, you know, and that I, you know, because life is all about stories, right? Life is all about the story that you want to tell. And when I'm 60, when I'm 70, on my rocking chair, on my porch, I want to be able to tell a story that I treated my body well, I ate well. I just recently went plant-based May 11th. And so I have a strict plant-based diet. And so I don't eat anything that breathes. I don't eat anything that can make a sound or, you know, say anything that walks. I'm just strictly plant-based. And that was that was a decision that I went to the doctor, and I'm probably telling all my little business, but I went to the doctor and they said that I was pre-diabetic. And so I was like, oh, really? And so, man, diabetes run through my family. My grandmother had it. My mother had bouts with it. My father has it. A lot of people in my family has it on my father's side. And so I was like, man, got to change my diet up, man. And so I had to put the, you know what I'm saying, pork sausages away. I had to do away with all the double deep fried chicken and all that good stuff, man. And so I put all that stuff on the back burner, man, and just drastically, one day I just said, man, look, I'm done. And so that's where I am right now. And so I'm about 90 plus days in, man. I'm seeing results. I'm sleeping better. I feel better. And I'm sending a strong message to my children. My children are eating healthy.
I'm going to give you a dab of support for your plant-based diet.
Mama Dab.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
The family section of your platform on Instagram is so well balanced. You have so many great tips. Take us through the first 5. I will list it one at a time, and you can give us your feedback on their importance. Number 1, leave work at work.
Yeah, wow. So leave work at work. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a temptation, right? Man, especially for us dads, mothers alike, you know, especially the job that I have. I work with youth who are facing 40, 50 years of prison time, right? For some decisions that they've made, you know. And, you know, I can't neglect the humanity of the situation, right? It's like, man, that's my brother. That's my son. May not be my biological son, but that's my son right there. And so my heart pains for situations like that, right? And so when I come through the front door, my kids need me to be at 100%, right? They could care less what happened at work that day. And so I have to find a way to, you know, in a healthy way, compartmentalize what I experienced at work that day, right? And come home and give them daddy, give them Chauncey, right? And be able to meet their needs for dad. And so do I have the cheat code on that? No. My advice is just simply be present, right? Cut work off and be present in the moment. Feel the ground underneath your feet, right? Feel the sofa underneath your bottom, and be listening to your children, right? Listen to your children, listen to what they're saying, engage them, be actively involved, turn off the e-devices and give them eye contact. I tell my children all the time, you listen with your eyes, right? Because my son, he's quick to, you know, he'll be here with you. But I say, son, listen to me. I need to see your eyes, because you listen not only with your ears, but you communicate so much with your eyes. And so I need some eye contact. I need some face to face, right? And that's a big part of it. You know, don't be a distant dad. Don't be a disinvolved or disengaged. I don't even know disinvolved is a word, but don't be a disengaged dad, right? Be an active father. And that's a mantra for me, you know, and that's a goal for me. That's a lifelong goal, to be a life-giving spirit when I walk through that door from work, right? Because when I walk through the door, and your dad may be the same way, but when I walk through the door, my kids are tackling me. Daddy, hey, you know? And so I want to respond to that. I don't want to be like, hey, I'll go somewhere, man. I'm tired, daddy, tired. And some days I'm like that. But at the end of the day, my goal is to be a life-giving spirit. I want to give them all of me. I want them to know me, right? I want them to have a strong relationship, and I'm always on a journey to create a tight bond with them. And so turning off, that's my motivation. That's my why for turning off work, right? When I come through that door. And so I hope that answered your question.
It does. And I also agree with what you were talking about the eye contact. The eye contact is a thing that our dad teaches us about a lot, that it's important to have eye contact when you're speaking to people so that they know that you're listening.
Absolutely. I could tell too, man. Your dad's, that's why I gave y'all the shout out in the verse that I the collab that we did together, because I was like, man, your dad is doing an amazing job, for real. For real. I could see it. It's all over y'all, man. Y'all swag, the way y'all carry yourselves, your posture, even your body language, it shows, man. You guys are some young men with character, young kings with character, for real.
Thank you. Number 2, laugh and have fun.
Man, you better, and that's me, man. That's my bent. You know, everybody in the hood growing up is a comedian, right? We do your mama jokes. We got jokes for you, man, because you're trying to laugh through the pain, but you know, laughing is therapy. You know, it's therapeutic, and I just believe that sometimes we take ourselves too serious, you know, and I know that my kids have responded and communicated and said they really enjoy that side of me, and that's a part of my personality. I love to laugh. I don't do scary movies, you know what I'm saying? I want to laugh. Give me a comedy, you know what I'm saying? And so I just love to have fun. And I believe that, you know, that should be a core value of anybody's life, of anybody's workplace, of anybody's family at home. You know, laughter should be a part of your home, right? And children respond to that, you know, and so I like to laugh. I like to have fun. I like to go to amusement parks. We just came back from Busch Gardens the other week. You know, my kids and I, you know, went down there to Busch Gardens, have fun. You know, I didn't ride all the roller coasters. I'm getting old. I get dizzy real quick. But man, I'm having fun, you know. And so I just think that we have to find a way to incorporate fun in whatever we do. I believe it should be a core value. It should be part of our foundation of anything that we build. Why? Because, man, culture is paramount. And I don't want to talk over your fan base head, but culture is important. And if you incorporate some fun in your culture, I believe that everybody, regardless of age, benefits from that, right? Young and old, tall, small, black, white, Puerto Rican, it don't matter. Like, everyone benefits from fun, I believe. And so
I also agree a lot and relate a lot to what you were talking about like comedy movies. You can ask my dad or you can ask Matthew, like every time we sit down and decide to watch a movie, I'm like, how about a comedy? Because I love to laugh, and comedy movies are like my favorite genre.
That's what's up. Who's your favorite comedian? Who's your favorite comedy actor?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Oh yeah, y'all old school. Okay, I see where y'all going with it. Yeah, Adam Sandler. He's a genius. He's a genius in the way he presents his comedy. Yeah, give me a good old fashioned comedy. I'm good to go, man.
Speaking of jokes, what did the duck say when it bought lipstick?
What did the duck say when it got lipstick?
Put it on my bill.
I was gonna go some other way. I was gonna go smack or something like that, quack or something. But man, put it on my bill. That's dope. I'm gonna have to use that. I'm gonna use that tonight at the dinner table. They're gonna be like, man, go somewhere. But yeah, that's dope. I like it. Put it on my bill.
Number 3, find a hobby.
Find a hot man. Hey, again, you better, right? And so my hobby is I play drums. I've been playing drums since I was, you know, I'm thinking about 9, you know, well, ever since I could remember, I was beating on oatmeal boxes. Oatmeal boxes were made different back in the 80s. And so, man, beating on anything that could make a sound. And then I eventually, you know, hopped on the drums and started playing. But I didn't get my first drum set until I was 30 years old. And so my wife got me a drum set for my 30th birthday. And man, we went from there. But yeah, I play at church. I love that. I also do graphic design. And so I went to school for graphic design. And so I love Photoshop. I love Illustrator. That's probably my favorite software, my favorite program to use when designing. InDesign, all of that. And so any Adobe Creative Suite, I love doing artwork. And so any artwork or graphic design that you see on my social media, I designed it. And so I just love doing it. It's just something that's just so therapeutic for me, you know, and I just love art. And so I would say art and music. And of course, I do this thing called rap a little bit. And so, you know, that's a hobby as well.
Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Represent your squad and go hard. Go hard. Go. Young and Farm. Had to get on this. Listen, my name is Jules. I go hard, rock from party to party, backyard to yard, bar zap general, educators the squad, collaborate, yeah, young and fun bars, two kings with intellect, on track to go far. Shout out to Tic Tac, your sons above par. Yeah, hey yo, so what your character keep that in mind? You be changing America, keep that in mind. You be changing the narrative. Black mind is a threat, and America scared of it. From Doc King, Malcolm and Fred Ham, the hate in the bigotry sponge is still them. So we freedom bell ringing and single, we so amped. No, we so lit. No, we so hard. Who knew that changing attitudes was so hard? So hard.
Number 4, volunteer.
Volunteer. Yeah, man, you got to serve your community. You know, my community has given so much to me, and being the man that I am, you know, I remember I was a part of this organization when I was growing up. I had the opportunity to go to Boys State, right? It's a place where you go when you're in high school, junior in high school, and you learn how government is ran on a federal, state, county level, right? And so I went to this organization. I went to the state level, ran for governor. They have all these mock elections, and I got governor. I was elected governor, and I went on to meet the president of the United States at that time, Bill Clinton. And so if you Google, you'll see all that information out there. But I had a chance to do that. And so, man, service and serving your community and giving back, man, that stuff is paramount, you know, because my community has given so much to me, especially during that time. They bought me luggage. They threw ceremonies for me. They invested on a one-on-one level in me. They didn't give up on me. My grades was horrible, but they didn't give up on me. And it turned my whole high school career around, my whole academic career around. And I ended up graduating with my class on time with the full ride academic scholarship. And so when it talk about giving back to your community, man, service, man, that's everything. That's everything. And so, yeah, I'm real big on that. I'm real big on giving back to the community.
In terms of volunteering, Matthew and I and these cool kids called the Dow Twins, we've done things like stop the hate rallies in the community to inform people that hate isn't okay and that we need to stop it now because it's intolerable. So I agree with what you were saying.
That's big. And if you're passionate about a certain topic, whether it's hunger, whether it's, in my case, fatherlessness, whether it's eradicating poverty, anything of that nature, bullying, like you guys, throwing yourself in that direction, whether you're getting paid for it or not, man, you can never go wrong with it. You're always going to get an awesome return on investment when it comes to that. And so, man, hats off to you guys for real. For doing that. I saw you guys on social media. Y'all got an award of some sort. Y'all had y'all suits on and everything, man. That looked like that was a really big deal, man.
Yeah, we got the Youth Leadership Award from the Fred Wilson Democratic Club. It was an amazing experience.
That's dope. It seemed like it was well-deserved, man. It seemed like it was well-deserved. You guys, like I said, I keep beating a dead horse, but you guys killing it.
Thank you. So number 5, be happy.
Yeah, and that may be a tall order, right? That may be hard to do, especially in today's climate where there's just, you turn on the news and it's just so much tragedy, right? What's going on over in Afghanistan, heck, with COVID, with depression being at an all-time high. But we need to find something to be happy about, even if you're still breathing. I just got a report yesterday that one of my family members has COVID, you know, and then, you know, a couple of days before that, another close family member was contracted COVID. And so it seemed like it's hard to find something to be happy about, but we have to find something. If you woke up today, that's something to be happy about, right? And then if you have family, if you have friends, that's something to be happy about and be hopeful about. You have a roof over your head, food on the table, you know, sometimes it's just the simple things, right? And then even if you're just accomplishing one small pie slice of your goal or your dream, right? That's something to be happy about. You guys have scheduled a podcast for today, an interview, and you're one step closer to accomplishing your dream, right? Your goal or whatever that may be. And so that's something to be happy about, right? It may not be on a large scale. It may be the little things. And that's something that my wife is teaching me, right? Because I'm this visionary. I'm thinking big scale. But sometimes we just got to slow down, pause, and be grateful and happy about, you know, the little things. And so, yeah.
I really agree with you. Sometimes you have to keep your joy. Like in the Bible, God says to always keep your joy no matter what.
Come on now. And you know, it's also the company that you keep as well, right? Because if I'm around, you know, 5 bitter people, guess who's the 6th bitter person? I am, right? And so, man, the company that you keep is paramount. And, you know, the Bible talks about that, right? It's bad company corrupts good manners. And so, man, I got to be around like-minded individuals. I got to be around people that's going to energize and charge my battery, right? People that are making deposits, not constant withdrawals, right? And that inspires me to do the same, right? To be a lifter, not a leaner all the time. I want to lift and build people up. I don't want to always be leaning on people and drawing from, taking away their energy, right? I want to add to. I want to be a life-giving spirit. Absolutely.
Your faith shows through your Show Up Moments platform. Mm-hmm. Tell us your take on courage versus faith.
Man, y'all got some questions, boy. I ain't playing. And so, yeah, courage. I love courage because courage is simply, I used to work at this camp out in Oklahoma City, and I was the ropes director, the outdoor rec director there, and the program director there. And one of the things I used to tell the kids that used to come through our ropes course, you know, they'll go up this pole, this telephone pole, we call it the pamper pole, 40 feet up in the air, they'll climb that pole, stand up on the top of it. And a lot of times their knees would be shaking like this, right? And they are scared out of their mind. And one of the things I would teach them when they're at the top of that pole, when they're reluctant about jumping and grabbing the trapeze that's in front of them or ringing the bell or whatever it was that this is going to take some courage, right? And courage doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It's not the absence of fear. No, fear is right there. What courage is being able to execute in the face of fear, right? And I know that through being a soldier, driving in Baghdad, Iraq in 2003 with my weapon hanging out the window, not knowing what was on the other side of that city limit sign, right? And I'm looking at this city, it's on fire, it's smoke, right? It's at war, and I don't know if I'm going to come home. But courage is this, being able to put those butterflies that are going haywire in your stomach in formation and being able to execute in the face of fear, right? It's not that I wasn't afraid. I was afraid, you know, and that person at the top of that totem pole, 40 feet up in the air, their knees are buckling. They're afraid. They shook. But being able to still execute, right? And we call that intestinal fortitude. We call that stepping up because your why matters, right? There's someone dependent on you to step up. There's someone who's dependent on you to execute. And so that takes a lot of courage, right? Fatherhood takes a lot of courage. And then the other one, you said faith, I believe it was. Faith is everything I do, is everything that I am, right? Believing, hoping in things that you can't quite see, but having faith, in my case, faith in my God, that he is working behind the scenes to bring about some remedy to my situation. Yeah. And so faith is everything.
Your passion to heal what you called the fatherless epidemic is powerful. Tell us about this platform and why, as a dad, this message is important for kids and the world to hear.
Cool. How much time do we have? Because I could be here all day talking about this. Man, this fatherless crisis that we have in America, man. What are your thoughts on it?
You know, it's one one is sad, and it touches me because knowing the environment that I came from and the impact that it had on me, and also working with the youth, seeing the impact that it has on them, not having a father, it gets it's pretty depressing, and it makes me want to go out there more and continue to be those mentors. We have programs like Big Brother, Big Sister, and stuff like that, where they out there, trying to be a mentor to them. But there's nothing like somebody being there to say, "Yo, that's my pops right there. That's my dad." That get that manliness to us.
And so, I guess in short is the whole. I guess the foundation of it is this: that I believe that every kid deserves a father. Every kid, right? And the statistics are gross, right? The statistics right now, the new one that came out from the 2020 census, is that 18 million children, a little bit over 18 million children, are going to go to bed tonight in a father absent home, right? They're going to be tucked in by someone other than dad. And the statistics say that, well, let's say this: culture says that, okay, that's okay, and mom could be a dad. But the statistics say another thing, right? They say that, if a kid that grows up without their biological father, or without some type of surrogate dad or noble masculine person in their life, more likely to drop out of school, more likely to commit suicide, you're more likely to become incarcerated as a youth, you're more likely to do drugs, the list goes on and on and on. You're more likely to be an adult that lives in poverty, right? Without your father. And so I believe that this is the root of many of the social ills that we have. So dads matter, regardless of what society is saying, and these messages, these toxic messages that are out there calling masculinity toxic. There's some noble masculinity here, right? And in the hood, in the communities. And so your dad is a prime example of that. There's some noble masculinity out there. And so, but we need to raise awareness. And so that's the first phase of this organization that I have called Family Shepherds, where we want to raise awareness about the fatherless epidemic that is out there, right? Because it's my belief that every child should have a father.
Go an entire 24-hour news cycle and not hear about the fatherless epidemic. How is this possible? Why is this so? You think that everything was okay with the American family, but it isn't.
And so that's the first part, raising awareness, because a lot of people, it's not on radar, right? You can look at the news for a 48-hour news cycle and not hear anything about this fatherless epidemic. 18 million people are affected by 18 million children are affected by this, right? But you're not hearing about it in the news. Why is that? Let 18 million people be affected by anything, right? COVID, whatever, you name it. And those things are important issues. Social injustice, police brutality, all those are important issues. But we need to add another issue, right, to the list. And that issue is fatherlessness, right? Because families are being destroyed, right? They're being forced to pick and choose between assistance and a dad being under the same roof. And so that's powerful. And it's affecting one group of people disproportionately, right? At a rate that's different from their counterparts. And that's the Black community. Statistics say that 1 out of every 3 children are affected by fatherlessness. However, in the African and American community, it's 2 out of 3. So 1, 2, 3 fatherless, right? And so, man, that's a huge problem. And so I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I don't. But the answer is in our community, right? And we need to come together and solve this problem and lock arms and address this issue. And so, another part, I have a workshop that's coming up here in October to empower dads. It's called 24/7 Dads. It's an evidence-based curriculum that I'm using through the National Institute for Fathering. And we need to equip dads. And so 13-week course, we meet every Saturday. We equip dads with the necessary skill sets to facilitate healthy relationships with their children. And then the second part of that vision for Family Shepherds is to father the fatherless, right? So we need to mentor them. We need surrogate dads stepping up. We need mentors stepping up. We need uncles, cousins, grandfathers stepping up, men who are willing to say, hey, listen, I'll lock arms with this child, right? Until they cross the graduation stage and go off to college or go off into their next chapter of their adult life and help them navigate through their manhood journey, right? They need noble masculinity in their lives, not toxic masculinity, noble masculinity in their lives. And then the last part of the vision for family shepherds is to legislative reform, right? Because the way the laws are set up right now, they're not set up to empower families. And so we need to set up some laws that are going to empower and strengthen mothers and fathers to be present in their kids' lives in a positive and healthy way. And so, man, this issue of fatherlessness is near and dear to my heart. It's the reason why I was put on earth. You know, you talk about what are you going to be remembered for? What's going to be your legacy? What's going to be written on your tombstone? Prayerfully, it's something pertaining to fatherlessness. I hope and pray, and I'm telling my family, you know, this is the direction that I will work in until, you know, I take my last breath. And so it's an issue that we need to raise some critical attention towards.
That's all for today. Thank you for coming out, and we'll see everyone on the next episode of Conversations With. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Thanks for having me.
And listen, we're talking about grit. We're talking about guts. We're talking about quiet strength. Since most tough calls result in some outward battle or bumping heads with someone, a father must win the first victory on the inside. You gotta bump heads with yourself first, bruh. That's the real battle. That's where the real fight is. And it's the fight of your life. And it requires true grit. John Wayne style, right? Author Angela Duckworth defines grit as a combination of passion and perseverance for a singularly important goal. It's the hallmark of high achievers in every domain, including fatherhood. Duckworth also found scientific evidence that grit can grow over time. So that if you're one of those fathers that give up easily, be encouraged, because this battle of grit is a battle that you are hardwired for. Oftentimes we're tempted to flake out. Listen, don't be a flaky father. I'm challenging you from one father to another. Get some grit.